Hello and good evening, Bronies and Pegasisters. My name is Frostcloud on my Mr. Chaos the Cunning Wolf channel. Tonight I will be reacting to My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 7, Episode 14, Fame and Misfortune. Now, through a good friend of mine who goes by the name Skyprowlbite, I've heard that this is an amazing episode, and it's by M.A. Larson, so yeah, go figure. I also found out on my own that there is a song in the episode called Flawless. I had a few second glimpse listen to it, and it sounded like an actual MLP song that I will remember for years to come. So what in the name of Celestia are we waiting for? Let's get started. Well, morning in Ponyville Shim... Okay, never mind. These are some interesting new characters.
Tula-Rula, Coconut Cream, what are you doing?
Coconut Cream kind of looks a bit like an OC. She looks a little bit too creative to be just some generic character, but never mind.
Friendship isn't always easy, but there's no doubt it's worth fighting for.
Kind of the same as love as well. You know, marriages. Never mind.
Come on, Starlight. Don't judge a book by its cover. This is a friendship journey my friends and I...
I'll judge a book by its cover just this once.
That's too bad that old classic things fall apart, because, you know, classic things can have a lot of good things to look back on.
There's a smushed apple in Applejack's lessons. Fluttershy's lessons are so small, you can barely read them.
I wanted to leave room for all of you.
Well, that's kindness. Pinky. Yeah, exactly. What's going on? Okay, this is interesting so far.
I learned this spell years ago when I needed to make copies of a certain...
Yeah.
manifesto.
I'd forgotten all about this lesson.
Hey, I remember this background music track. I remember it from the opening of the Season 5 finale. You know, when Twilight was reading a bunch of cards preparing for a speech.
How would you girls feel about making our journal available for every pony? If we can get these lessons...
I think that's a great...
Oh no, this is where the is this where the fame part comes in and the sum goes wrong? Hey, that pony kind of looks like Featherweight, only recolored.
No, you do, because you always win.
Hey girls, couldn't help it over here. You might want to take a break.
Are one of these two played by one of the same girls who play the CMC? Because they sound similar.
I just hope those foals actually learn something from our lessons. They will.
I don't know. Well, meet your new fan club.
Wow, that was worth the trip.
I can kind of see where this is going. And that's like a group of Bronies and Pegasisters coming to BronyCon to finally get their things signed. And there's a similarity there.
I only wish they'd left Rarity out. She clearly doesn't belong in that book with the rest of them.
Oh, I know. Who does she think she is?
Those are just opinions and criticisms.
Setting up the Ponyville Days celebration, but does she really believe it was a success just because of her? The nerve!
Oh no.
Pinky, I've got to... Ponies keep stopping by to tell me my entries are hilarious!
Now you gotta wait until Pinky's high-speed speech is over before you can cut in.
Wait, that wasn't even funny.
Hey, well, I guess...
I think they're over-obsessive fans. Okay, I'll admit her little shouting sessions are kind of funny.
I whipped out all the Twilight Sparkle lessons because they were getting in the way of the good ones.
What are those lessons?
Why don't you guys talk to Twilight for a while? So I can get back to things like working and napping and, well, pretty much anything else.
Living.
Huh?
Oh my god.
Just that I really need to get those storm clouds back in their pens.
Oh, cool. Come along. You can tell us the story there.
like a bunch of bugs following her.
It's okay. I got this, girls.
Oh.
Listen up. I am more suited. And yes, it took me a while to get there. But can you honestly say that you could learn something one time and completely change who you are? I didn't think so.
You're way different from the Fluttershy in the book.
Well, I mean, she's really developed since season 5.
It feels like every pony in Equestria is missing the friendship part of the friendship journals.
I just think it's because everybody has different reactions. I mean, a fandom and a fan base will always have different reactions.
Right?
Oh no!
Well, I'm creating a gown, darling.
What? I'm sure if I go out there and talk to those ponies,
This is getting disturbingly realistic, and I like it.
I need 100 blankets, and I need them now. Sorry, Twilight.
Like away, pony who still likes me.
I don't need nothing fancy.
Applejack, who are all these ponies?
They call themselves the Sweet Apple Admirers. They say that
Oh, that's clever.
felt like a part of the family, and now they actually want to become part of the family.
Well, much like Bronies and Pegasisters, like they make their OCs and they make backstories for them. I'm finding this episode's not only good, but it also relates somewhat to the Brony fandom. Actually, in that case, every fandom.
My own family?
Oh, those smiles.
Oh boy. Window staring, huh? Was it that bad at Sweet Apple Acres?
It's bad everywhere. I thought I was
That's-
doing something good. I thought I was helping. How could
That's
I-
similar to when people say, talking to yourself. Not a good sign.
It's my days of hilariosity-ness are over.
I can't even go to the bathroom without some pony trying to tell me how cool I am.
Rarity? What are you wearing?
Okay, so there's more evidence that there are bathrooms in Equestria. I mean, I know that argument's dead a long time ago, but yeah, still.
It's not your fault. It's every pony else's. They're just focusing on the wrong things and... Wait here. I've got an idea.
Well, still, I mean, every fan is different.
But it was each of these ponies standing next to me who taught me the lessons in those journals. Applejack,
And some from Starlight as well.
Rainbow Dash. I've learned so much from...
What I mean is, some ponies would argue that it doesn't seem believable that the 6 of you would be friends.
Just listen, dude.
Well, sure. I read this journal cover to cover, and I have to say, your character would have been much more interesting if she'd stayed in Canterlot.
My character.
This is not an
These are
act.
real ponies.
Exactly,
This
it's...
journal is a record of things that...
She's the only one who didn't really need to learn anything because she was already in school.
Hey, she has the type of accent where any word that begins with an R begins with a W.
It's hard to relate. I mean, come on.
Wait a minute, every pony.
Oh, and this is a part in every fandom where everybody's fighting over them having different opinions. Use a bullhorn spell already.
Listen to me.
Thank you. Yeah, blow all their eardrums out.
Claim to be perfect.
Oh, here's the song.
Are all written in ink. None of us claim to be perfect, and it's sad if that's what you all think. Our flaws help to make us special. They bond us.
I like this so far.
Our flaws are what brought us together. So stop acting like something's wrong. We're not flawless.
Here's the chorus.
Progress. We got dents and we've got quirks, but it's our flaws that make us work.
Okay, I absolutely love this. I just have no words. I love this. Oh, you think?
And I can be too eager to please. There's such thing as being too honest too, 'cause
We're not flawless. We're a work in progress. We got dents and we've got quirks, but it's our
That face.
make us work. Yeah, we're not flawless. We're a work in progress. So tell me what flaws you got too, 'cause I still like what's flawed about you. Ponies think I'm all bubbles and laughter, that I don't seem sincere. I might joke around.
Hey, I like how this song's kind of long as well.
Just so happy you're here. It took me a while to be confident, to really come out of my shell.
Hey, there's a star constellation thing again, just like in the Best Friends Until the End of Time. Oh wow, a third chorus? I just have no words. I absolutely love this. I like how Pinky's also kind of doing an echo backup vocal to that last chorus as well.
So you see, every pony? None of us ever claimed to be perfect. Without our flaws, there wouldn't be any friendship lessons to learn. Without our flaws...
Yeah, if you were all perfect and it was just all an act, it would just be boring. Guys. Well, at least that's somewhat realistic. I mean, that's also realistic, you know. A good percentage of fandoms won't just automatically change after just a lesson like that.
Two ponies who have something I think you should hear.
Hey, guys.
Reckon we still have to deal with them, don't we?
Yeah, how's that gonna be dealt with?
Stay in the friendship moment, Applejack. They can wait a little longer.
Oh, okay, I guess they just have to wait till it blows over, okay. That was an interesting ending. I mean, I wasn't pissed off at all about that ending. I actually liked it. I kind of like the Spice Up Your Life episode. I liked it that ending because it was realistic. I'm going to immediately say, before I start off this long review, that this, to me, is one of the best episodes of the entire show. An episode that hits a royal problem, the perfect pair, and maybe even tanks for the memories out of the park. This episode touched a place deep down inside of me like no other episode has. It not only succeeds at showing that there is a side of the Brony no, not just the Brony fandom, every fandom that needs to grow up, but it also succeeds at showing that no one is flawless, whether it be someone who is or is not famous. The no one is flawless moral is what affected me the most in this episode. I'll get to the fandoms part of this review later. Before I saw this episode, I was in a show where I felt like I wasn't the best Brony. I felt like my reactions and reviews on episodes weren't good enough. Hell, I felt like almost everything I've done as a Brony wasn't good enough. I always felt that my idols were better, if not perfect. Really, Frostcloud? Really? Alright, no, I've obviously forgiven myself after seeing this episode. But seriously, feeling like I couldn't do anything right compared to others in the fandom I'm so devoted to was a very depressing feeling. Just like how it took Fluttershy a long time to come out of her shell of shyness, it took me a long time to come out of my shell of feeling incompetent and like I had no purpose. This episode has now made me feel not egotistical or cocky, but it gave me a new feeling of not being afraid to have flaws. And of course, that song, Flawless. Do you remember how in the beginning of the video I said, I had a few second glimpse listen to it, and it sounded like an actual MLP song that I will remember for years to come? After seeing this episode, I have lost count of how many times I've listened to that song on repeat. Daniel Ingram, you've truly done it again. This is the first time I've absolutely loved an MLP song, not mostly because of how beautiful it sounded, but because of its message. One little thing I'd like to point out about the song is that the chorus sounds very similar to one of the choruses in Welcome to the Show from Equestria Girls' Rainbow Rocks. Have a quick listen.
We're not flawless. We will be adored.
I'm not saying this is a bad thing, I just wanted to point it out because I thought it would be interesting to bring up. Now, onto the fandoms part of this review. I very much admire how this episode brilliantly mocks the oversensitive and clingy side of all fandoms. I saw that a lot of people in the Brony fandom took offense from this episode, thinking that the writers of the show were giving them the middle finger. My response to this is, they're not trying to insult you guys, alright? They're just showing in a unique way that there is a side of every fandom that needs to grow up and act more civilized. But if you all still see it as them giving you the finger, then I say maybe they are. And it's a middle finger that says, grow the f up. I know that there still is a big piece of the Brony fandom and every other fandom that needs to act more mature. So it's a middle finger to the fandom that I am willing to accept. I absolutely love how this episode does an amazing job at impersonating certain parts of the Brony fandom. I'll use 2 examples. 1. The Sweet Apple Admirers. I don't know why that name cracks me up. Anyway, I like that scene because it very realistically represents the side of the fandom who love the show so much that they actually want their OCs to become canon one day. Much like I do with my Alicorn OC, Frostcloud. 2. That elderly mare that said, Twilight was better before she got wings. That scene was an obvious reference to the part of the fandom that was outraged at Twilight becoming an Alicorn. While this episode does a great job at showing that there is a huge difference between a character and real living beings, it also does a phenomenal job at showing the realism of how even the mature side of fandoms work. Even the civilized fans aren't going to be amused by the same thing. No matter what, us Bronies and Pegasisters will always have different reactions and thoughts on new episodes and fan works. I was very satisfied with the ending of the episode. It gave me the same satisfied feeling I got during the ending of the season 6 episode, Spice Up Your Life. It was realistic. The main 6's new fandom didn't just instantly see the error of their ways and learn to stop being such close-minded fanboys. Instead, they just resumed their fight as Twilight and the others went back inside. But then Starlight came back with Tularula and Coconut Cream. Those 2 fillies clearly represent the small percentage of a fandom who are mature and actually take things away from what the creators put out. Realizing that they were fans who truly cared about their entries, the main 6 just stayed in the moment of friendship and waited for the fight outside to die out. Wrapping up with the more minuscule part of this review, I like that Starlight wasn't left out and was still treated like a main character. I know that some other bronies hate her, that's fine, but I have my opinion too. I think Tularula and Coconut Cream both look like they have the creativity level of an OC. Come on, I can't be the only one who sees this. They both sort of look like OCs. And yes, even though my reaction wasn't very convincing, stressed out Rarity did freak me out a little bit. Especially her growls in between words. Now, before I bring this video to a close, yes, I am aware I didn't do the perfect pair before this episode. I am still editing that video, so don't worry. I wanted to do this episode first because I just loved it so much that I wanted to put my thoughts about it to script as soon as possible. And also, because this episode showed me that it's okay to have flaws, I'll be changing up my review on The Perfect Pair a little bit due to the fact that I'll be reviewing episodes under my new It's Okay to Have Flaws influence from now on. I will no longer be so hell-bent on making my reactions and reviews perfect. One last thing I really want to at least mention is, without the character's flaws, there would most likely be no Brony fandom. Without a doubt, I proudly give this episode 10 out of 10 paws. Mr. Larson, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. My name is Frostcloud, thank you all for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Brohoof.